Hi everyone, Ashley Mailloux here with another Coast to Coast Pick 5 ticket. This one's for Sunday, January 29th. As always, features races between Gulfstream Park and Santa Anita Park. And looking at the sequence, going to kick off in Florida in race number 9 at Gulfstream Park. It's a 7 furlong event, first level allowance for 3-year-olds. And I get the field. I actually thought it was pretty evenly matched through and through. I did kind of narrow it down to two horses. Starting with the number 2, Diamond Cool. This one trained by Patrick Biancone. A couple of things to note. Looking at kind of that most recent race, obviously he had gotten against Florida bred maiden special weight competition and simply romped. Almost a 9 length winner, made it look very easy, and did have a bit of freshening going into that race. And prior to that, I thought the third place finish it was okay. Obviously, it was against open maiden special weight competition, but I like that confidence boost. He was finally able to graduate and career start number 5, and he did it in a big way. So curious to see him in this spot. And obviously, the win at 7 Ace last time out did suit him well. And the other horse, the number 6, My Man Ira. This one trained by Jose D'Angelo, who was a pretty impressive maiden winner, in my opinion. That was against open maiden special weight competition all the way back in October, going 6 furlongs. They put him back in the following month in a kind of a tough race. When you look at the winner, Legacy Isle, that one out of the Rohan Crichton barn, would actually end up finishing first in the Mucho Macho Man, but was disqualified. A very speedy runner who ran very well in that race on November 27th. So I think the waters were deep, and I think this horse had some issues. Was certainly hot before the race and getting into the gate. So hopefully, with the time off, this one's done a little bit of maturing. And I have to say, the work two back, I watched it online, thought it was a pretty good workout. So just two runners in that opening leg. We'll skip now to the 10th race at Gulfstream Park, and looking at this field again, just too deep. The number 1, Traffic Song, I think it's intriguing, has the inside draw, obviously has some early foot, and was the pace setter last time out in a race, which was her first in quite a while. I thought she ran very well. She got tired in the end, so I'd expect her to run better second time out, and she should appreciate going back to the mile distance. And then I'll use the number 6, Fast is Flight, who just was denied last time out and has been consistent throughout her career. Kind of a lightly raced 5-year-old mare with those 10 starts under her belt, but she always shows up. And I think in terms of trip and the pace scenario, I mentioned the 1 is going to be forwardly placed. I think Fastest Flight is just going to be off the pace. And with the way the turf course plays at Gulfstream Park, you don't want to be too far off of it. So just for me there, the 1 and the 6. We'll go out to California for Santa Anita's 4th race, which, looking at this race, 6 furlongs on the turf, a nice starter optional claiming event. I did spread in here. I'll use the 4, Hialeah Hottie, who I think's going to have to maybe step up a little bit on the turf, but obviously has early foot, which should suit this one well on the turf course. And pedigree, Sharp Azteca, 16% with those turf sprinters, and the mare Melody Girl broke her maiden sprinting on the grass. I think she's a must-use. The 7, Graze My Heart, arguably the class of the field, is actually a stake winner last time out, is coming out of some longer races and cutting back in distance, and I have no concern. She'll get some pace to run at. She'll get a great trip. I mentioned just the class, I think, kind of puts her a step above this group. Then finally on the outside, the number 10, Bye Bye Bugsy, this one out of the Michael McCarthy barn. I thought the debut sprinting on the grass was decent. They tried some different things. I think last time out, you can draw a line through that race. And while this one graduated on the turf, let's note that it was at a mile gate to wire fashion. But with that debut and kind of the trip that she had gotten there, I'm actually curious to see her back sprinting on the grass, and she does get that weight relief in here of 7 pounds. Back to Gulfstream Park for race number 11, a mile and a 16th on the turf course, a wide open maiden special weight event. I wanted to keep this ticket under $100 and closer to that $72, $84 region. So I just used 3 in here. I used both of the horses trained by Graham Motion. That would be the 2 and the 10. I think the 2 going to be a price on the tote board. This is a full sibling to Spooky Channel. It was a multiple winner on the turf and actually 2 grade 3 wins under his belt. I like the race 2 back. I think there was an excuse last time out with the surface. The other Graham Motion horse is the 10, Teledonso. This one raced okay on debut. I think there was some trouble at the start, and I think that kind of gives her an excuse. She did stumble after the break, really had a big stride in the stretch to pick up 4th in that race. The other horse that used the number 9, Miss Astor, I thought this horse ran very well last time out. I wasn't too keen on the trip that she got. I thought she looked like she could get the job done. I had too much work to do late, so I wanted to use her in this spot as well. Then to wrap things up, back to Santa Anita for a 6.5 furlong turf event, $50,000 maiden claimers. I thought about singling the number 5, Storming Crowman here, who I thought maybe would sit a trip off the pace and is dropping in for the tag for the first time, which the barn limited sample 1 for 1. I liked seeing Kazushi Kimura climb aboard. Actually, I really liked his work 2 back on January 20th. I thought it was a pretty strong work from this one. Well, I decided to also use the 4 El Potente, this one out of the Dan Blacker barn, just from that pace scenario standpoint. Should be forwardly placed and has a big shot. So you see my ticket there, a $72 ticket. Don't forget, get involved, dollar minimum base wager with a 15% takeout. Best of luck Sunday.